All right, let's get ready to rip. When you go to a tracker facility, it's not about the money in the track. It's about the people. Guys, I don't give a shit about anything but making this hobby better. You don't have to put them into a late model right out of the hit. Put them in a slash. Let them bang around on the bathtubs. All right, guys, as I always do before every show, I put out I put up a group of tracks that I kind of follow, and I do a track report. So today, I checked on quite a few tracks. Honestly, Backyard, they ran their race this weekend, 29 drivers, 49 entries. Raw did their Saturday or Friday deal, which is really a big hit over there in Indiana, which is great. 35 and 66. Cedar Bluff had a Saturday race at 17 and 40. Crater did theirs 34-71. Leisure Hours / High Road, their new track up in Lockport, they had their first race ever, 21 and 33. Attitude, we just talked about them, 74 entries or drivers with 154 cars. Amazing for Aaron to put that show on. And it's a Sunday deal. Some guys think that's worse. I think it's fine. Obviously, he can get you through. His track's shaded enough. He can get you some decent laps in early. And they started like 10 and done at 6:20. We looked at live RC just a minute ago. And then I went to Jacksonville. To watch the race down there. The race down there in Jacksonville was good. The atmosphere was a little different than I'm used to. Nothing bad, just different. I talked to a lot of guys that we know from BB Mods and stuff, the race mod stuff. Hung out with them a little bit, talked to them just to see how things were going. Watched some racing. Dan does a different way of prepping the track, which I enjoyed to see, where he pulls it down and drags it in between every heat, keeping it a little bit looser than what most of us get into. Most of us are grooving it up. But it was good. I mean, I enjoyed the racing. The racing was the early laps were a little looser than normal, but I mean, it's good racing. Guys are in slashes in the lower levels, what I call the lower levels, the novice, the slashes. The bunch of the SD based stuff was lower or was early on. It pushed the cushion and then it packed it in. And Matt Rikers had told me a couple weeks ago that Jacksonville puts on a pretty good show, and I don't disagree. I spoke to everybody there. I spoke to the owner. Great people. I would recommend going down there. I don't know what's going to happen. I know they're going to hold an elite race there, so I don't know if I'm going to go down for that one or not, but it's definitely there for the option. So make sure you guys check out Jacksonville. It was a good track. Good people, plenty of room. He does not have the problems that we have, where we have a little bit of trouble with getting people in sometimes. He does not have that problem. It's in an old baseball field. I did not stay till after dark, but they say you turn the lights on and you don't hardly need anything but that. So that's great. I was happy I got down there to see that track. Guys, I'm going to try to hit a track every week or every other week just to let you guys know my opinion on the track. Normally I'm not, I don't bash a track. I don't run my mouth about the track. Yes, pill draw. They do a pill draw every round, or in the beginning, and then they earn birds the second heat. It does do well there. I like how he does his marshaling also. I think we're going to adopt that. Number 1, number 2, you marshal. Done. I think that was the biggest problem, quote unquote, we had last week. or the last major race we had was Marshall time was a little longer than I'd like. Okay, getting guys to Marshall, so that's one thing we're going to take from it. But the pill is pretty cool. The pill eliminates, as Matt said, pill eliminates confusion for the heat, and I would agree with that. Pill is a pretty interesting way of doing it. So, Jacksonville is one off the list, but not one that won't come back on the list to go to again. Anybody got anything for me? We're going to jump right into the first topic of the night, and then we're going to let you guys lead it. Anybody got anything for me now? Throw it in the comments real quick. I'll read your comment and reply. That's how we do it. Those of you that are watching this recorded online on RC Underground, I will be monitoring the comments. I will respond. And if it's something we need to talk about, I will bring it up the next time we talk. If you're on RC Underground and you want to be involved right now, you need to get on the Kempton Speedway page, and we will accept you into it, and then you can get on the live feeds and be live with us on Sunday nights at 7 o'clock. Okay? All right, we're going to move on. A question I've seen, guys, I monitor a lot of different people's pages and a lot of different ways of people just so we can gauge what we need to work on as a track, what we need to work on as a hobby. Yes, I agree. There are two big races coming up. Matt Riker says there's a couple big races. The 4th of July weekend, one of them being BB Mods 100, and 5 Star is also running one. So I don't know where I'm going. High Road is also running theirs up in Lockport. They're running a weekend race. They're running every Saturday that we don't race. We've made that agreement because Leisure Hours helps us also. They've come on board to help us. You'll see them on the TV in the background as one of our sponsors now. They've done they've given us some door prizes and helped us out with some stuff, so you'll see that. So there are some options for guys on the 4th of July weekend. That's a cat. We are going to open on the 4th, I think. If anybody wants to come out and put laps in, we only had a couple people out Friday, which I expected with the heat, and that's fine. Guys want to put some laps in. If you don't. If you do, there's open time here every Friday almost. So that is going to be available. So as I was saying, guys, I monitor a ton of pages, and on those pages, one thing that just came up to is on multiple pages is that I'm a new racer. I want to get into it. How do I get into it? What class do I get into? Guys, that's the hardest thing in the world to tell a guy, honestly. I want your input in the comments, whether it's now or recorded. I want both. I want comments on this subject. Guys, what do we start out at? What do we get a guy that maybe never raced, maybe raced years ago, maybe has other RC, maybe he's a boat guy and a drone guy, he sees dirt oval, he's been to Fairbury, and he wants to come over here and race. What do we put him in? Dave says use Slash. I don't disagree with you at all, Dave. I think that is a great idea. And we're going to talk about, I went through, so what I did, guys, is most of you know me well enough, know I'm not very prepared, but I kind of prepared myself today trying to do this thing somewhat right. Traxxas late model, new foams. Are there new foams in the tire? Or are you saying putting different foams in the tires? So what I did, guys, is I did this. I went in and I did a comparison, and I put up some tracks have stock Slash, and it took off when I was at Island. So I went in and did some research, figured out what it takes to do it. in my opinion, there is Flash Street Stock. You can get into that. There's Buggy Street Stock, which was mentioned a lot. Traxxas Modified and Late Model together, and Losi Sprint. That's the classes, honestly, guys, that I think are probably the classes that people need to think about getting into to get in the hobby. Is that agreeable? JJ says supposedly they did put new foam from the video they seen. I would hope they did, JJ, because that's probably one of the worst things about that car is the foams that are in the TRX, what we call TRX modified or Traxxas modified. And if you guys see TRX, that's what we're talking about. So, with that being said, I went through and kind of did some price comparison. Guys, those of you that hide how much you spend on RC and your wife or significant other is watching, you might want to either ask them to leave or review this later and turn the volume off right now. Because it's more shocking than you think when you put it on paper. A Slash Street Stock to be not somewhat competitive, not even completely competitive, in my opinion, because you got to have drive time. If your track allows you to run the BL2S system, which you can buy in a factory Slash now, it's going to cost you $590 plus paint. So you can say $50 or $60 worth of incidentals. You're at $650 if you can run the BL2S system. We allow it here. If you have to go to 12 turn, which some of them still make you run 12 turn, which is fine, whatever, it's your track. If you have to buy a 12 turn because it doesn't come in the car anymore unless you buy one kit, I've heard, that's going to cost you $86 more for a 12 turn and a XL5 ESC, totaling you up to $676 without your incidentals. If you got to run a 13.5 just stock system like we do here, and we allow the VL2S, which is probably going to be more popular, that's $750 option. So if you have to run those classes, and you have to run that, that's where it's at. Let me get back, guys. I was on another screen. Let me see what these comments are saying. Matt Riker says, Buggy Street Stock is not a beginner's class. Way too many adjustments to get out of whack. 100% correct in my opinion, Matt, and we'll talk about that as a con to why I wouldn't go into that class. Losi Sprint is also an awesome starting point as it's pretty fast. And Scuba C says his wife's gone. Don't worry about it. Dave, yes, that is another class we'll talk about. 100%. I'm not against the Losi Sprint cars, except for one reason, and we'll talk about that too, okay? The Buggy Street Stock. If you think that's where a guy should jump right into this hobby, I'm agreeing with Matt Riker, it's not. But here, if you want to jump into it. If you're buying an associated car right off the shelf, you're going to you get the car, you got to get a servo horn, tires, wheels, body mounts, body span, 13.5 just stock, you're at $898 without any transponders, radios, none of that. None of these have that included. Okay? None of that's included. So you're at $898 for that. If you go to Losi, you're at $930 to just get started into a class that you don't know if you like or not. JJ says that's why I think the TRX late model is probably the best for a new guy, not the Losi Sprint with parts delay or debacle. I agree, and again, keep them comments coming, and we'll talk more about pros and cons in a minute. But I agree 100% with you on both of those topics, JJ. And there's another one I got. So there you guys go. You've got a 600. We'll say 600. A 700 and a 750, depending on what you need in this Slash. You have a 900, a 930, depends on what brand of buggy you want. And that's not counting any paint. That's not counting any detailing. That's not counting anything like that. Body pins, anything you need extra. Plus, every class, no matter what you do, if you get them in a TRX modified or late model, or you get them into a low C sprint car, you get them into a slash street stock, or you get them into a buggy street stock, it doesn't matter. You are going to spend $420 on a transponder, a radio with receiver, a charger. I priced a dual charger, and 2 batteries. You're going to be at $420 minimum with a $1,200 max. Not saying max, but $1,200 on the high side. Just to get you ready to rip. Let's see what we got here, guys. Buggy street stock. Dave says buggy stock is very competitive. I firmly beginners should not get into that class and have no chance of competing in. Agreed, 100%. I think it's discouraging for a guy to go out there with a guy that can run a late model at the same time, and run in that class. I think that's rough. It does ruin their experience. Matt Reiger says it would be nice if every track had 1 or 2 rental rides for a beginner class. Agreed again, Matt. That's something that we are looking into doing. I think I've talked to you about the Chuck E. Cheese idea. So there you are, guys. So that's build cars. That's how I put that. That's a car you're going to build, right? If you go to an RTR class, you have the Traxxas modified and the Traxxas late model. One's $399, the other's $420. Then you have the low C Sprint at $350. Guys, I don't want another class. I really don't want another class at my track, and I think that's what you're going to find track owners say. Yes, JJ says, how about a breakout class for beginners? That could happen also. It's just a way, once you get them into the right car, right? You got to figure out how you're going to do that. But yeah, that's definitely an option. So the RTR stuff, we're going to start going into that because I really feel like that's where we need a beginner to go into. I don't have a problem with a beginner being in a slash street stock, but with the late model coming out, I think that's a really good place in this area to do that. The problem is this. I pulled up the tracks that I follow, and not to be bashing them by any means because they run the races they run. Here's the problem with it. The Losi's last weekend, the Losi sprint car in a box stock form had 9 cars racing, from what I see. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracks I looked at. 9 had Losi sprint car classes. TRX modifieds had 11 cars in class, and only 2 tracks ran those. 2 different tracks ran them, but 2 tracks ran those. Buggy street stock is a huge class. There's 50 of them last weekend in the 6 examples I have. There's 50 of them. Everybody ran one with a minimum of 6 cars in the class. Okay? And the slash street stock was big too. The slash street stock had 23 cars in their classes with a minimum of 2, but I think some of the guys are getting that number skewed because they're still trying to run 12 turns in this area. I know for a fact that up north, 12 turns are still very popular, and I'm okay with that. That's your area. The area I'm looking at in this area, the 12 turns have heard it because so many guys have already jumped over to Brushwood. So that hurts the class a little bit. Okay? What's your guys' opinion? Got a few guys on here. What's y'all's opinion about that? Where do we get a guy started out at? My opinion of this is also the slash street stock. you can move that into a B mod, right? Or you could honestly step over from a B mod. You could go into a buggy street stock from that class. There's got to be a progression. Duca says practice or Traxxas in his opinion. Riker says run all slash in the same class and eventually sort itself out. Shane Sanders says, okay, no problem. Thanks, Shane. We were me and Shane are trying to get together with some stuff. Be nice Traxxas to make our RTR slash FS. Guys, again, the name of the show, right? In my opinion, here's what I think. The late model is a Traxxas slash street stock basically without the body on it. I feel like the Traxxas late model is the best car right now for anybody that's starting out in the hobby. And here's why. It's $420. You leave it box stock. They don't have to buy the $100 minimum radio, right? They can run the stock one. They do still have to buy the batteries, the charger, that kind of stuff. But the late model is a covered wheel. If you bang it off the wall a little bit, you're not driving up the wall. If you bang it off the other guy next to you, you're not driving over the guy next to you. I think the Traxxas late model is a good addition as an entry level. The only problem I have with the Losi, and I know a lot of guys that really enjoy the Losi and think the Losi is a great deal, and I don't disagree. I think the Losi is going to be okay once you get in it a minute, just because you have the open wheel. I think, and I haven't seen many break yet, but traditionally RC cars that have the big wing on them, they break, and then you're buying more stuff. Dave said Traxxas late model is a great starter. I don't disagree, Dave. That's what we're talking. I think that's, guys, I love the Traxxas street stock class. I think it's great. We have a really good turnout on that class, but the guys racing that class are not beginner guys. We have some beginners that are in that class, but you can see them, right? You can see that guy. You know the guy that is the beginner, and he doesn't really have a chance of getting it done. Some guys drive like beginners in the bathtub class of slash street stock, but they're not. Weasel, I agree with that too, and I don't know, how do I want to say this? I don't know how to fix that. You can say the same thing about slash street stock, but I don't think slash street stock is the beginner class, right? Because it's not RTR. I think there's got to be a better way to keep. Yeah, I'm on board with you, Joe. Joe says the same thing with slash street stock. But I don't think slash street stock's entry level, guys. I really don't. Make all the slash classes run the Traxxas late model tire and let them rip. It would kill the class, Matt. So, I mean, it's no different than keeping the 12 turn. Hey, I like that profile picture. You stole that. Good job, buddy. Thanks to Three Joys Photography for giving you that thumbnail there to put on there. Don't worry, I took one too. But yeah, that's the thing, guys, is slash street stock's not a beginner class. Slash street stock is just like buggy street stock. The other thing we got to talking about and thinking about was, like Matt said earlier, there's so many adjustments on a buggy to get a guy in there, right? I mean, a guy can get screwed up real quick messing around with a buggy. And when you start moving around, if you bump up a class in the Losi where you start putting carbon on it in the Losi Sprint, you're going to be in the same boat, right? Guys are going to be screwed up on it. I haven't messed with the Losi Sprint much, so I don't know how many adjustments they have for you on the wing and how many adjustments they have on the shock area. Yeah, I don't. I understand where you're going, Matt, but you're still. Who's going to come into the hobby spending $1,000 on a Slash to get going? 800 when you can go buy a Slash late model for the same, right? I mean, that's that's my opinion of it. They from what I was talking this weekend with guys is the crate late model class, whether it be 13.5 or 10.5, like we run them both, but that class has really helped the faster class because it's kind of weeded the guys out that didn't have anywhere to go from buggy street stock. So when that happens, it helps. It helps having a middle point. I mean, there's no real B mod class and there's no real uh, SC mod class in this area per se. So the Slash street stock is kind of where it's at to make them fast. You know, to have a guy wanting to run a street stock besides a buggy. You know, if you like the short course, a big bathtub, where do you have to go? Slash is all you got. I don't know. I don't know if they're. I don't know. I just don't know that that's the right. I don't know if you pull the Slash street stock class down uh, to meet that. You know what I mean? So I put some pros and cons together, guys. The Traxxas and the Slash and the TRX stuff and the Slash stuff, in my opinion, have more pros than the uh, buggy and the low C sprint car right now. And it's nothing against either one of them. It's just the way I see it. The Slash stuff is so easy and cheap to fix. I think that's why a lot of guys, once they get into it, they stay in it because it's very inexpensive. The, the street stock over the TRX modifieds or late model is you have a controller in your hand that you can adjust. You can open up that controller, and the adjustments are there once you learn how to drive the car on the other controller. The Slash and the TRX are very simple. They're very basic cars, in my opinion. Uh, and the closed wheel setup on the Slash. Now, the Slash street stock and the late model are two of them that are going to be really big with that, right? I think that's a huge thing. I really wish they would have brought the late model out before the modified, but they didn't. Um, both of those cars or all those cars don't have a whole lot of shock adjustment that will help that. One good thing about the Losi class is there's some tracks starting to pull traction to get them in. I know Brad runs 6 different versions of it. I think High Road has a couple different versions of it. We run one version only, pretty much box stock, minor changes. So, and that's all track specific. Whatever the track wants to do, you can't stop that. See what we got here. Sorry, guys, I was on another page. Let me get back to it. Dave says the key is getting guys in the hobby cheap. They get hooked. They build higher level cars. I am all for cheap beginner classes. Dave, 100%. I agree 100%. We'll talk about a really cheap class that didn't take off. Matt says run a Slash street stock late model mods that on the same tire. That will not work. Promise you that will kill. I'm telling you. You say that, but it'll kill the class. 100% that class will be done. There will be no Slash street stock. Maybe that's what you want. That's not what I want as a track owner. There's tracks that don't want Slashes, and that's fine. We enjoy the Slashes. It's good racing, and it is a good time for guys to have a good time and not have to worry about running sponsored drivers, that kind of stuff. They're not going to sponsor tracks that they sponsor nobody. So let's go. Tommy says, I like running slash street stocks and bigger events as to have another class to run also. It's the one car I do nothing to, just charge the battery and race. Agreed. They're durable, they work well, they run hard, and there's a ton of guys doing it. Mark Larson says some guys run slash stuff that are excellent racers but can't afford to step up to the better stuff, but are simply there because they love to race. Man, that's why we're all here, Mark, and you're 100% correct. Slashes are big, bulky, loose, fumbling around machines, right? But these guys can get out there and bang, and it's a really fun class. If you break something, it's if you break something, it's nothing. You know what I mean? It's $3 for a part, and you can get them anywhere. Anywhere has them. If you find slash parts out of stock, it's very seldom. So I agree. I think I don't see changing anything with the slash street stock class. I really feel like the 3 motors are the best idea. I think we're going to find one of them is far faster than the rest of them, and everybody's going to go to it. No different than a tire rule, right? But to knock a car down to running one tire that doesn't work on what it's built for, probably not the greatest idea. Get back to this other page here. All right. The cons to it. The cons are just what I kind of talked about earlier. The cons are the open wheel stuff. I think that's not a good idea for a beginner. I think they need to be able to hit the wall and not flip it, break it, and then we're buying parts before we ever get out of our first race. We talked about low-C or the buggy street stocks, too much adjustability, guys. I think that's a big problem that guys get in it and get carried away. Somebody also mentioned earlier that the buggy is a big class. So the street stock buggies are a big class, and a lot of people are not going to be competitive with those guys that are going to run their buggy street stock and turn around and run a mod or a crate late model next. So that's how that is. The TRX, in my opinion, the original TRX modified, they don't drive well. We know they push. They don't drive well. The Slash doesn't drive well either. Like the Slash is not a well-defined machine by any means, but it's better than that, right? It's better than the TRX modified. Late models, I hope this foam helps them, and I hope the full body helps them turn a little bit better. But man, if you're a new guy and you have to learn how to drive with a push, guess what? You have to learn how to drive with a push, and then you get one that doesn't push. Guess you'll learn to drive it too. But a gentleman came out here, and I'm sorry if you're watching, I can't remember your name. Came out here on Friday night and raced. He used to race up at Marty, and he brought out a TRX and a low-C. That's what he wanted to get into. It's a reasonable way to get back in the hobby. So that's good. That's the way it should be done. If we don't do something to get people into the hobby, at some point, A, you're going to get tired of racing the guy you raced every week, and B, you're going to get tired of you're not going to have anybody to race because all the old guys are going to get out of it. And the money's going to get tight. Guys can't race. Guys can't afford to race. You've got to get new blood in. And I think the manufacturers coming out with dirt oval cars are going to help that. 150 cars in an entry at Attitude today is amazing. I haven't seen a 150 car count in a long time, that I can remember. I don't know about the J Concepts race. I don't remember how many was there, but I don't think it was that number. Let me look real quick. Brad had a J Concept race down at BB Mods, and there was a good number down there, but I don't think it was that high. Let me look real quick here. I got Live RC pulled up. So. Guys, I follow most of my stuff on Live RC. I do what I do. That's how I see how a lot of people are doing, whether it's track numbers or classes or whatever. That's what I use. Just type in the track that you want to go to or check on, and there you are. It's been 136 at Brad, so that's a good number. I mean, how can you complain about 136? Jacksonville, they said they've been down all year. They had a really good turnout of 100. But we need more people in. Oh yeah, that's right. Yep, I'm sorry. Yep. The elite race. You're right, Matt. Sorry about that. Yeah, Matt. We were up there. The elite series race had over 200 at Cedar, but that's a huge series. But it's still great to see. Guys, the more guys are out there, the better it is. I understand not wanting a 17-hour show, but I also understand that at some point we have to realize that it's not all about getting them through as fast as you can every night. Sometimes it's about building the hobby as it is. I've done some stuff to help cut time to get it better, but if I could cut, I don't see it, but if I could cut 30 minutes out of my program, I'd add a class to help bring somebody in. I think we will run the TRX modifieds and the TRX late models together, both cars together. I think that will be a good way to start. Man, you ain't kidding, Matt. 100%. And I'm going to tell you this here. Let me get a drink before I do. I'm going to give a shout out. Story time. So everybody sit around the mat here in a circle, crisscross applesauce. I'm driving home from Jacksonville last night, and my phone rings. I look at the name, and I say, I know. Oh, sorry. I know this. I know this name, but I know this name, but why are they calling me? And it's Jeff from Limestone. And he says, hey, he goes, I didn't realize that I booked on top of you for the 12th of July. He said, we'll change our date. It's not a big deal. He said, just let me know if I do it again. He said, I just didn't pay attention. What have you? I said, okay, that's fine. That's another track owner calling the guy and saying, hey, we need to work together a little bit. Now, Jeff's outdoor track has not taken off this year very much, but the reality of it is it would have hurt everybody. This weekend, you couldn't win anywhere in race. Honestly, you could have been in Jacksonville, Cedar, Lockport. I mean, there's a ton of places to race. There's 3 tracks that guys could drive back and forth to hit up. Backyard, I know some guys from this area, they kind of split, went to Jacksonville, and others went to Backyard to race. I seen that. I don't know, man. I really wish we could figure out a way to get a group together to make it happen. And we talked last week. Yes, Limestone. Oh yeah, Limestone raced. I'm sorry. Yeah, Limestone raced also. We talked about it last week about the sanctioning body, and I know a lot of guys are probably like, sanctioning body's dumb, I wouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. Jake Harris said, we had 5 places we could have went, but ended up at the furthest one away, but was the biggest show. Agreed, Jake. I understand that. 100%. And you know, when you get down to Jacksonville area, no offense to anybody, the tracks from the south, like Oval Office, I seen they ran. They said that's 30 cars. They usually drive up. No offense to Jared and them to do that, but I mean, I don't know. I agree too, JJ. JJ says a point series between multiple local tracks. Guys, I would love to do a series. I'd love to figure out a way to do that. The problem is you have to have the same rule sets, just like you said. We have to figure out rules that are right there to be able to do it. Or just do like Indiana Tracks did. Indiana Tracks this year, they all got together. There's 4 of them, I think, got together, and they all picked a weekend and ran a weekend. Don said he's working on a point series for next year that will be ran between multiple tracks. So you know that would be a great addition. The problem runs into the same thing Elite ran into out west. Yeah, agree, Tommy. Tommy says travel's tough with 350 a gallon, and I agree. The problem is just like out west, if you go too far, and that's an extreme situation, right? Your tire rule is going to kill you because if you run an open tire, guys don't want to go. If you run a certain tire, guys don't want to go because they don't run that tire normally. Normally they run an open tire, but the locals then have the advantage because they know what tire to run and they've ran on that tire for a long time. Say somebody wants to run on quasis and somebody wants to run on sprinters, and the guy at that track never runs on sprinters, and now he doesn't know about them and he can't figure it out, and now he's panicking and he's got to go buy tires. So that's a pretty good price. 318 at the Petro is a pretty good price, Weasel. But that's just it, guys. I mean, that's so hard for us to figure out. Everybody's dirt's different. Everybody's attitudes are different. Everybody's mindset's different. A guy says, "Hey, we're going to run 5 tracks here. We're all going to run quasis." Well, my track, we've been running sprinters a lot, and they work better than quasis on my track. So guess what? Eventually, the guy's going to say, "Oh well, I don't want to worry about them. I don't want to worry about quasis. I want to run sprinters because they work better at my track." And my guys don't like it. So guess what? We're not going to get in this pack, and we're not going to help you guys out. Instead of figuring out how to run on whatever tire, if it's quasis, run on quasis, and say, "Hey, we're going to figure it out." And if you're slower on quasis than a sprinter, then the guy coming in should be slower too, right? Oh, they don't work as good, but they don't work as good for the other guy either, unless he knows and he can adjust better. So does it really matter? If you know ahead of time, if you sit down on February 1st and you put it out there, we are banding together. There's 5 tracks, and we are all running the exact same rules, and we are all going racing. Here's what we got. Yeah, right, JJ. He says if everybody has the same rules, it's equal for all. It is. The only advantage you're going to have at your track is your track. I agree with you too there, Joe. But in a series, I would do 3 tires or 4 tires per track. That's my opinion to it. I would not lock a guy down to 1 tire, but I would have a spec tire, 4 different ones, right? Just throwing it out there. Obviously, sprinters and quasis would be the 2 big ones that everybody's running, so I would be okay with those. And then I would pick maybe an AK, like an array, or something of that nature, some kind of a pin tire that guys could run as they go. So you have 4 options. I agree. One tire, one monopoly is horrible for everybody. Agreed 100%, Joe. Agreed, Dave. But it never happens. Never happens. And here's why. If I go to Jimmy's track and say, hey, Jimmy, let's get together. Agreed, Weasel. A lot of brands do make dirt oval tires, and we would have to get somebody to do that. You know what I mean? Make sure that's where it is. Back to you, Dave. Dave, if I go to Jimmy's track and say, hey, Jimmy, let's get together, and let's get Bobby to get together too. We're all 3 going to run the same rules, but right now we have 3 totally different rule packages. Jimmy wants to run all his rules. He won't break. So when he won't break, guess what? We're done. Jimmy has to give up something. He has to change something. But you don't. You don't get Jimmy helping. Jimmy's like, I've run these rules for 10 years, and that's what I'm running. Well, Jimmy, you're killing it, buddy. So you take your other track and you go to another guy and you try to do that. And then Jimmy's track either dies or his diehard guys stay there and race themselves all the time. Dave says big national races, we have to purchase their tires, and that's what it is. Agreed 100% if that's where it rolls. Matt Reiger says would be awesome to see each tire manufacturer sponsor a race like a J Concept race, but you'd have to run the sponsored brand that weekend. Agreed also. And Scuba says, LOL now, so no one goes to Jimmy's now. Exactly, if that's what happened, right? If Jimmy won't jump in the program, but you have to have 3 other tracks that'll work, or at least 2 to start it and the third one jump in, right? And it's simple as that. I understand why guys put rules in, and I'm going to pick on High Road just a second because they're the newest and they just put the rules out. And no offense to High Road at all. I don't want you guys thinking I'm bashing them. It's just my opinion. Everybody else runs a just stock system 13.5 done. They're letting you run a different ESC. Because, and I understand the point in the crate late, so if you go to mod, you won't have to buy another ESC. I understand that. But you're the only one doing it. Now, you can still run, I assume you can still run the 13.5 just stock system complete the way it is. But the ESC most guys are going to buy for that $250. Well, you've already got, and Buggy Street Stock's the same way. So if you got 1,000 in that Buggy Street Stock already, now you're buying another ESC for another $250. That's just the difference. Brad's the same way. We'll go Brad's way. Brad runs 12 turns. He's one of the only groups still that running 12 turns, except for Farmers City during the Shark race. They still run 12 turns. But most places have switched over to 13.5 or all the systems. So we're different. We jumped off the bandwagon this year. We put a 10.5 in a crate late model. So before the last race, we said you can run either one because we seen that happening. We seen the 13.5 and the 10.5 are pretty close. The 10.5 they won them all last weekend. Don't get me wrong, they're faster. But I want 13.5 guys to get in it too, so we allow either motor. If you get in a mix up, it's gonna be okay. But the crate lane model here, you can run either motor. I don't know. The better ESC is only advantage with a hot motor, and just stock motor is a dog. It is, but you're still spending the extra money on the ESC. You see what I'm saying? That's my only opinion. Like I say, I'm not here to bash. I'm just here to talk it out. Leisure Hours Hobby says, believe it or not, most of the 13.5 late model guys purchase just stock for the ESC for high road. Just the regular one, right? Not the big one. Not the 120 amp or whatever. Just the regular ESC, which is great. I'm glad that's what's happened. I think I just think that's going to be the best way to do it. But then again, if you get a guy that comes up there, the 60 amp, yeah. So just the regular one, like everybody runs. That's cool. But the option's there. No different than us in the 10.5, 13.5, right? We have the option to run a 10.5, and if you don't, you're probably going to. Dave says he won't disagree that the cost of ESC is different. Yes, there's a difference in them, obviously. But if you get a guy that's been around a while, he's going to come up to up there with the other ESC, and he's probably going to be faster. The blinky, non-blinky ESC. Good comments there, guys. What else you guys got? Keep on coming. I'm still trying to work everything out, so let's hope this is all recording well. But yeah, that's just how it is, guys. I mean, I jumped off the bandwagon my first year. I didn't know a damn thing. I jumped off the bandwagon and I did a whole different class. I had no classes anybody else had. None. And whenever I did that, I was like, oh shit, I did that. Nobody showed. Nobody came out. A few guys started showing up here and there, and they started bringing what, and I said, hey guys, here's the classes we have. You bring a car out, run it. Let's have fun. And that's what happened. And that's how my track grew. Guys, we had 8-scale nitro buggies out here running on pins. Let's talk. Juka, let's talk. We need to get with Jeff and let's get that done. Talk about that. I want to do north versus south too. I want to do I-80 split north versus south. Let's go. All fun rivalry, guys. I'm telling you, if I go, we're talking right here. Juka just put it in here. Let's do it. Currently, yes, Craig. Craig, hey, we are. We are open tire right now. We're just talking tires. Guys, the rivalry thing is great to me. If I am loyal to High Road, I'm going to use them because Brian's on here talking, Juka's on here talking. So if I am on here and Brian's guys come down, yeah, dude, it was horrible. Similar, Tommy, similar. It was horrible, dude. The neighbors bitched. I had to stop. They had if I'm a high road and I'm a high road guy, like that's my track. You're loyal guys. My Kempton crew. If my Kempton crew goes somewhere and beats somebody, guess what? Hell yeah, we're bragging rights and we're talking about it, and it makes a great rivalry. And next time when we go up there and whoop up on you, maybe it's only one guy. One guy takes a 13.5 late model, we'll say, just because it's there. He wins that one, or we won two that deal. And you guys come down here next time to race, and you won to it. I don't know. It's a great rivalry. We can shake hands, eat a nice meal afterwards or during the race, and enjoy the racing. We're not out for blood. We're not out for nothing. You're going to get a little internet bashing. Who gives a shit? It's about building the hobby. I am a Cardinal fan and a not Cub fan, right? Like, I don't care if the Cubs are playing anybody in the world. I'm rooting for the other guys. I'm not rooting for a Cub, ever. So that's just it, you know? JD Craighead says, I love that every time I travel out west to race, they are open tire, and it's nice to use just use the dirt webs ellipses on a buggy-based cars and only need 1 cent per car. I know you're a Cub fan, Scuba. You suck. JB Cricket, I agree 100%. I opened the tire rule for that reason. I want to maybe next year have 4 tires that guys want to use at my track. I know you've talked about coming over on the 12th. Make sure you do and give me feedback. Okay? No, it can't be. It ain't the Kempton Cardinals. No. I got too many Cub fans on my group. I can't do that shit. But anyway, but yeah, come out. Give me feedback, guys. Guys, tires the rest of the year. Give me feedback. I'm afraid that we're going to end up on big races having to put some kind of a limit on the tire. Okay, and the reason I say that is because of that problem. Yes, I agree, Matt. I think it's going to be a late night deal. Here's my opinion on the tire, and I don't know except for listening to guys and understanding how things work as mechanically inclined as I am. I feel like a somewhat of a pin, or like a sprinter, works really well in the early because it's kind of loose. But once it runs in at night, you're going to need something better, like an ellipse, my opinion, ellipse or maybe even a half tread quasi. Just my opinion. I don't know that. Yeah. You ain't kidding, Chuka. Chuka said Kansas mascots are stray cats. If you see one running in here, it was a stray cat at one time too, and my wife is a stray cat capturer. She'll take them all. Control tires for the series. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we'd have to do something. I don't know. Maybe we open it. I don't know. We'll have to talk about it. Saying that sprinters are fast. Agreed. Don, that's what we're here for. He says, this is helping me tremendously. My plans for next year's series. Guys, that's what I'm here for. As the intro shows on RC Underground Radio, I don't give a shit about doing anything but making it better. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter to me. Guys, I have a full-time job. I don't need another job. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy the people. I enjoy helping in any way I can to make it better. She does, yeah. You can thank her next time she's out, Dave. We will feed you again on the 12th when you guys come down if you make it. We're running full classes on the 12th, so we'll have all the classes this time. The big tire shootout was a hit, but we're ready to get back to everybody racing. The mods are welcome. I would like for you guys, if you're going to mod race on the 12th, to let me know. I can get trophies made up or something made up for you. But we have full classes, so we'll see you guys hopefully down here on the 12th. We hope to come up there on the 5th. I think I'm going to come up on the 5th, maybe to your place up to High Road and check it out. Just kind of hang out and see what's going on. We'll see what happens. But I think that's where I'm probably going to head. Nice short trip. Tommy said he's going to buy gas for me when I get up there, $3.50 a gallon. I'm going to buy it down here for $3.29, but charge him $3.50. But yeah, guys, open tire rule is just to find out what we need to do, and for guys to burn up some tires, honestly. Burn them up and figure them out, and hopefully guys will get better with that, you know? So, it's a good time. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy the banter. I enjoy the BS and the running and trying to get as many tracks to work together as we can and try to get as many people to run the same classes. The TRX, whatever that ends up being, in my opinion, is going to be an open invite class where the younger guys, the kids, the old guys that are just getting back in it, the guy going through midlife crisis or the young lady going through midlife crisis and needs a car, that's your class. The low speed stuff, we're probably going to keep it the way it is. That is done through Leisure Hour Hobbies. We're just hosting it. They presented that to me, and we're doing it through Leisure. So those of you that are racing low speed down here, thank Leisure for that. They wanted to do that. We worked out a deal to do it. So, but I think that class doesn't need to get extreme either. There's rumors that guys are spending $1,000, $800 to build these into the unlimited car, and you could buy a friggin' GFRP for that. I mean, get a sprint car that's purpose built. I mean, honestly, I don't want to say that in a negative way, but the low speed car, in my opinion, is to get you into sprint cars. It's no different than the one that we had made. Butch, Laser Mike, I think Chad Green was involved in it early. I know he was. On the LC base, it was a four wheel drive deal, and you can get them done for $500. You could get into one of those. Talking about entry level classes, guys. Those of you that have been around us enough, we run still, but it's fading fast. We talked about it last week. The mini mod class, modified, four wheel drive. They push like a dump truck. You can get into them with a radio, with a receiver, fly sky, nothing fancy, 2 batteries, tires, everything ready to go for under $500. I haven't priced them this year, but we would build into them, and they're under $500, and you're racing. Matt says, maybe see if someone will donate a few sets of tires to the track for everyone to bolt up and try some practice nights. I agree. I don't think that's a bad idea. We should check into that. But you could get into that, and it's a spec class. You can't do nothing to it for $500. And those cars are fun to race. I mean, there's 10 or 12 of them out here running around if they're, if guys bring them. The parts are cheap. Juka says, great idea, Matt. I will leave a decent set around after I race. Well, I mean, something that's not completely wore out, might not be a bad idea to see how they work for some guy. Come on with it, JB. Let's go. He said, when I come off tons of sets, and he'll do a lot of testing, I'm sure. Guys, there's a lot of different. Riker says he's got a set of rebars he'll donate. I don't think that's a bad tire either at times here. That's the thing. There's so many different tires that would work. But where do you stop at? Everybody buys 150 sets of tires. So, but there's so many different options. Like I said, that was the mini mod class, the class we fought for 4 or 5 years now. I cannot tell you where it started. There's many stories of who started it and where it started. I think it was Izzy's dad, and Izzy at his dad's track with Chad Green, and then they moved it to Limestone. But I don't know that for sure. I've heard it, but I don't know it. I've asked and haven't got a straight answer. I've got different answers from multiple people, so it's not a big deal. I just wondered, in my curiosity. We grabbed it and really held on to it for 4 years of doing it. We're going to continue to run them this season and see how they work, but it's also very, very easy to do that. You know what I mean? Very, very different to that class is totally different, and it's like no other. Being 4-wheel drive, being small size or 1/14 scale short course truck start out. So. Dave says he'll leave a set of quasis or sprinters after the night of racing if it'll help somebody out. Jake says we are super lucky to have a quasi and sprinter as spec tires in Central Illinois. Works decent. at all type of tracks. The car counts prove it. I don't disagree with you at all, Jake. I think them are the two tires. No matter what, we will have here currently. And I think if we run a short series, whatever that looks like, Triple Crown type deal, we will definitely use those two tires to start with. Scuba says that's what built Kempton Speedway, and he's 100% correct. The mini mod built Kempton Speedway. We ran them forever here and ran the shit out of them. I don't even have one mounted up, guys. Oh, there's one right there. The white car up there is a mini mod. Traces. This one here, this is a mini mod with a coupe chassis on it. So you can do a coupe body on it. That's four-wheel drive still, not the two-wheel drive buggy that they came out, which is rough to run on dirt. But so guys, I mean that's another entry level $400, $500 car. In all honesty, if you run the sedan body, you're probably under $400 with a shit ass cheap Fly Sky controller at $100. So you got to put a transponder in for $100, which you have to no matter what you run. But I mean, those cars are available. You have to build them from a short course truck. They're no different than a slash street stock, right? You got to buy all the pieces, have it built, or build it yourself. But that is what built this track. This track was huge for that. We would have 15 of them out here running any night. Hell, I have 6 or 8 of them myself. So, and if it dies, it dies. I can't make anything happen, guys. I can't make guys buy a car and hate it because it pushes, or hate it because it's not mainstream. Don't worry about it. Okay, then we won't run them if we don't have enough. But if guys have them, they want to race them, guys want to buy them and race them out here, get a hold of me. We'll run more. I'll run them every night. I love them. They're fast. They're fun. They're not really an entry level unless you turn them down. They're too fast for that, but they'll get around. So, guys, I'm going to do something here. We're not done. We're not even close. I'm sure we'll continue on with somebody's comment that I'll go into a tangent, tirade about something, but we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to give some merch away, and we're going to some MIP tools away. What you have to do is this. You have to go to RC Underground YouTube channel. The second and third episode, you have to comment on one or both of those, preferably both, and you'll be entered into a random drawing for that. Okay? We're doing that just to help with the RC Underground YouTube page. So you have to do it. You have to do it on the second and third episode of In My Opinion. Okay? Jump on there, watch the episode. It's going to be a lot of this. He cuts some stuff. But get on there, watch the episode. You can watch it while you work. Comment. You have to comment. It's about the people, not the money. Okay? It's about the people, not the money. That's the comment you have to put in. You put that in, and they will do that. Then I will draw randomly on here in about 3 weeks. Okay? Go to their Facebook page. I mean, their YouTube channel. I'm sorry. On the YouTube channels where you have to comment. I will be watching it. Brian asking who's heading up Limestone's Outdoor. Jeff is the owner of Limestone, as Scuba put in there. Dave says, let me throw it out there. Older buggies, B62s, B64s, Losi 2250s are just as competitive as the new B7 in the buggy street stock class. I agree 100%. I don't think you have to go buy a brand new one, guys. If you're ready to move into something, want to make a change or add a car, there you are. Buy used, build it the way you want it after you buy it used for half the money. the other thing I can say about that, guys, it's really hard to buy 7 cars and get them all going well. I just seen it this weekend with a guy that was running 5 cars, and uh, he's complaining that he can't get any of them around. 5 cars racing competitively is too much. My opinion is this: if you're going to do buggy base, get a street stock. If you're going to do SC base, get a slash street stock. Or if you have those 2 cars, run those and figure them out. You'll learn so much. So if you have 5 cars and you're trying to run them all in a night, guys that have ran for 10 years, it's tough for them to do it, right? I'm not saying they can't. I'll tell you 3 of them off the top of my head that do it all the time. 4: Butch, Jeremy, Morris, Scuba Steve, and Van Ice. They'll run 6 cars, but it's so much. Anthony did it last weekend, and it was like crazy. He said, "Man, this is too much." So Matt says he hasn't seen many V7s as competitive street stock. I'm sure it's figuring it out, right? Junior says Dave can do it. He hired me. Nice. But that's just how it is, guys. Just figure them out, right? Figure out how to run a car or 2 cars. Really enjoy it. I think guys get in and want to run all these classes so don't have downtime. Well, here's the thing, guys. When you have downtime, you're working on your car, you're looking over your car, you're charging batteries, you're making sure your wheels ain't falling off, you're making sure your battery's plugged in. I mean, there's some guys that run 2 classes and can't charge a battery, plug a charger or a battery into the car, or figure out if they're on the right channel for the remote. I mean, but when you're doing 6 or 7, that's understandable, right? So even if you have all those cars, pull them back a second, look at what you have, and say, hey, as a track owner, guys, you're hurting me on entry money, but I don't care. I'd rather see better racing. So Joe said a Bandit won Jacksonville and a 3rd at Cedar. I understand that, Joe. I think the Bandit takes a little bit more work, a little bit more, how do I say, patience maybe. But man, I'm not afraid of a Bandit either. Dave said I ran a B7 podium in Kempton week 1, podium last night at High Road, lost last night to a 5-year-old 5-0 elite. JB says if anyone wants a competitive B7 setup, scroll through my Facebook pictures. You will find one I use everywhere, or send me a message. I'll share it all of it. Thanks, JB, for that. You've always been one to share. I don't think that's a problem. Matt says only Traxxas Joe can pull that off. Matt's poking the bear there, but Joe runs all Traxxas stuff, and hey, that's cool. Run what you want and have a good time doing it. Joe is very creative with his build, and his knowledge to build is good. He's been out here once to race, and that's cool to me. I'm the odd man out guy too, Joe. So don't feel bad. But there you go, guys. Anybody want to B7 setup? JB's handing his out, just handing it to you, guys. That's the beautiful thing about the RC hobby. Also, is the RC hobby has so many people that will help you to be competitive and race well. And JB's setup will get you in the ballpark, right? And then your driving style, you'll tweak from there. So, it's always something. It's always available. Make sure you guys take advantage of whatever you have to do there, whatever guys want to help out. Make sure you guys take advantage as much as possible. no different than me relying as a track owner on you guys as racers to figure out what we're going to end up running for a tire or whatever, because there's so much information out there and what the guys want to use or use everywhere that might work here some. And I'll be very interested to see what JB says because he races around. I'll be very interested. So I'll be very interested to see what he has for a tire idea. Dave said the B7 is definitely awesome, but not necessary for a beginner to get into racing, just my opinion. JB says it didn't help any of the fast guys to leave the slower guys hanging because of the fast guys will just complain the slow guys are in the way. Hashtag no speed secrets. JB, you're correct. And Dave, you're correct. So Dave, I agree. The money there to buy a B7 to get it rolling is not there for me. I don't understand that. I know a lot of the guys here are buying used stuff to make it happen, and that's great. And then you maybe have to go through the whole car and spend a little bit, put bearings or something or whatever, if you don't buy it from a reputable guy. And JB says about the slower guys, you're right. That's what's going to happen. A guy that's slower, they're going to complain. They're going to want to drive through the slow guy instead of driving around like Dave says. But you're right. If you get a group of guys, and you see them more in the mod, if the guys in the mod cars, if you get them all rolling, man, it's nice. If you get one that's maybe just a little slower or maybe not as talented, maybe out driving himself and maybe should honestly step down to a crate late model or a 13.5 sprint and get a few more, maybe another year in, or maybe another 6 weeks of practice somewhere, which is very hard to find. I understand that. But it makes the race totally different, in my opinion. You're not looking for if there's a mistake. You're looking for when there's a mistake, and that guy takes out a big part of the field. I understand they have to get in it somewhere, but I'm glad that's why the crate late model and the 13.5 sprints there to help guys not outdrive their ability. JB says, make the slow guys fast guys with you, and race is always way better. You're right, 100%. But your setup might not work for everybody, right? But it gives you a starting point that guys can adjust off of. So, and that's really all that matters. You can put the same setup in two cars, two different drivers. It ain't gonna be the same, right? They're just not the same. You're gonna drive differently. You're gonna feel differently. Whatever, however that works. But you're gonna change your little changes, and guys will learn if they want to. They will learn how to change their car to make it better if they want to. If they don't want to, they won't, and they'll either pay somebody. Maybe Dave's doing that, but pay somebody, or they will have somebody. You know, they will just be jumped. They won't go with the rest of them. So, guys, I enjoy this conversation. I'm glad we're getting a different mix. I like the mix I had, but I like the mix I'm getting also. Some guys that haven't been on before or haven't spoke up much are on, giving their 2 cents. And I tell you what, I am loyal as loyal gets to my Kempton Crew guys. I will never tell you any different. The thing is we didn't have a Kempton Crew 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We didn't have a Kempton Crew. There was nobody here to do that. So we all started figuring it out. You know what I mean? And more guys started racing, and more guys started talking, and we all got better. This track a year and a half ago, didn't have 13.5 anything except for splashes. Now we're running crate lates, and now we're running a lot of buggy street stocks. We got 13.5 sprints in. They got pretty big at the end of the year. So that's good. That's good to go too. So we grow as a track. We grow as a hobby, and everybody gets better in the end, and that's what we're looking for. JB said I always send people to the Matt Murphy Dirt Oval Guide, but have since made this chat bot free use with great info. What chat bot? The hell are you talking about? Dude, I'm interested in the chat bot. That's cool. I watch Ryan Hall. If y'all don't know, I'm a weather guy too. I like to watch the weather and storms and stuff, and he has the Y'all bot. So if you're not familiar, jump on Ryan Hall. That's where we got the official weather app for Kempton Speedway WeatherWise. You'll see it pop across the screen behind me. That is the weather app we use. Oh, it's damn it, man! They learn a lot. Holy cow! That'd be cool to see when you get it unpinned, whatever release. But yeah, it's good, guys. Good group of guys. Good track. Good racing this weekend. I haven't been back over to Backyard. I don't know if anybody's on here that went. I was interested to see how that went since you opened the track up, got rid of pit lane. Oh, okay. Will you share them to the page, or just will you message me and I'll share it? But I'll share it onto the group, guys. So those of you that are on here, Kempton Speedway, JB sends me that. He'll message it to me, and I'll put it on the group so you guys can have it. So there it is, right there. He just sent it to me. I'll share that into the group, okay, or into the onto the Facebook page, so everybody will have it. Thank you, baby. That's cool. The world will never be the same now that we have an RC chat bot. Jesus. Anyway, should be good. But yeah, Backyard opened their track up, so I'm interested to see how that works. Sounds like people will be running one more race. Matt Riker says Tony, who runs Backyard, has an announcement coming soon. Sounds like he will be only running one more race this season, Backyard. That's really too bad, but I understand it. I know he got out this last year and started doing go-karts, and he ran the Elite Series, did one hell of a job. I don't think Kevin's doing a bad job. I just think he's got big shoes to fill, right? And Tony's going to run, Tony getting out is if that's what happens, then that's what happens. I mean, man, it's a lot, guys. It's a whole lot. And he ran big races, so that was even more. I think the crown jewel last year was the pinnacle and the end of his thought, his process to do that. That's tough. Brian says that sucks. It's time to take care of our local track. Brian, you're right 100%. And part of that's getting on board with rules and figuring that out and working together as much as we can to build that rivalry, that and that camaraderie at the same time. The other thing about it is we are so lucky. I don't think people understand. Somebody posted on a page, and I don't even know what page it was from. I got a message to me asking about Southern Illinois track. Guys, I don't know, except for Slideways, which is on 70, it's in Brownstown, but it's kind of by Effingham-ish, Vandalia area. I don't know that there's any south of that. But there was a ton between I-80. We're going to call you guys I-80 up there since you guys just opened up at Lockport. But we'll say I-80 south to Jacksonville. I know Oval Office is down there. and Mora, or Moro, whatever, how you say that name. But man, in this area, even from Bloomington to I-80, we have a shit ton of tracks. And then you go into Indiana, and there's five tracks there. You go to Wisconsin, there's 3 or 4 tracks that I know of that I watch up there. Matt Riger says people need to have a decent conversation with track owners instead of racers bad mouthing the local team. 100% agree. 100% agree, Matt. As a track owner, I don't have a lot of problem with that, but I'm also very small. I could see where Tony, in his situation, not because he's too nice a guy, in my opinion. The other thing is he runs huge programs, in my opinion. He is somebody that I looked at. I went there first time I ever went to a race, a big race, and just hung out. Was his crown jewel last year, and just seeing how it worked helped me tremendously. And I could see somebody bad mouthing because they're too afraid to walk up to somebody man to man and say what's going on. I say at my track, if you have a problem, come to me, and we'll handle it however that needs to be handled. And normally it works out really well. Dave says, High Road would love to have the Kempton crew come up and race. Great people, great food, great fun. I agree. We will come up. I don't know how many's going to come up, and I don't know who's going to race, but I will be up there. I'm going to say it now. I will be up there next weekend just to hang out and see what's going on and kind of get the feel, see how you guys do things. I'm always trying to learn, just like I went to Jacksonville, just like I go to Brad's, just like I go the backyard, and I went to Crater. I mean, there's so many places I've been. Just jump in the car, go check it out. So we would, and I'm sure guys will come up. I said if we can get a group together to race well, and we can make the Triple Crown idea something where we can all work together. I think Kempton crew will not have a problem making the trip. The problem runs into is, and I heard this from another racer or another promoter, they put a race on with a bunch of different tracks in a series, and then we're going to use ours because we're here. Kempton crew didn't go to High Road, so High Road's not going to Kempton. And Kempton guys went to Limestone, but Limestone didn't come back to Kempton. You can't have that. You have to get a group together. You have to agree that you're going to make these races as a group. Everybody has their own little group of people that race together. And I think that's huge to keep that camaraderie there together. Wally, good comment, buddy. I'm glad you jumped in here. Wally says local tracks, indeed, to get on the same set of rules. I own a track and try to stay close to the Chili Bowl rules. 2 tracks close to me are off the wall on rules. Wally, put in the comments what track you run and own. Throw it in there. I didn't know you owned a track. I just talked to you today. I didn't know you owned a track. Guys, you don't even, like me, who would think me? If you met me, you'd never think I owned a track because I'm an idiot. But, especially after you talk to me for about 20 minutes or listen to 3 live feeds, you're like, dude, this jackass, he can't own a track. But we do, we're just normal people that work hard and try to keep tracks rolling. But we do need to do that. Eyesight Hobbies and Raceway. Okay, cool, man. I'll have to check you out. I'll start following you. Oh yeah, I'll write it down because I'll forget. Eyesight Hobbies. Guys, jump on his deal. Check it out. You're in Indiana, correct? Check that out and see what that's about. Maybe it's a place you guys can check out. Guys, even if you just go and support it and check it out and see what they're doing or how they're running, or maybe they're running something different. Scuba says Jeremy and I will come the 5th. So Butch said he can make it the 5th. Riker says High Side is part of the original Elite series. Cool. Yeah, I'd like to check that out. Maybe I'll make a trip over there this summer before it's all over. Next weekend I'm open, and then we race the weekend after, and then I'll see from there. Okay, but I'm game. Idiot, no. Idiot, no. Asshole, yes. Jeff Johnson, Heat Man. Oh, you're way south. Henderson, Kentucky, and an Indiana line. That's interesting. I'm glad you told me that. We need to find. I'll find that comment and put you in down there for Southern Illinois track. I don't, and it's not Illinois. I understand, but that would be closer than him driving north. I'll get a hold of you, Wally. I want to talk to you a little bit, okay? Off this, I want to talk to you about your track a little bit. Guys, the different areas are so cool to me. How guys run different, what their dirt is, what they do, how it works. You can learn something from everywhere you go. Jeff always calls me an asshole. So great. And then he says he doesn't want a nickname, and he gets Nacho. So Nacho it is. So it sounds like we got some guys. We got some guys that come up on the 5th, guys. So you better buckle them down. Kenton Crew's on the way, and High Road will never be the same. So Jeff's probably on the road. I think he was headed to Colorado, so he won't be able to comment much, which is better. Ryan Ralph is our regular, but yeah, that's cool. That's I'm glad guys are on this. Man, I'm telling you, it's all about having a good time. It's all about making ways, making guys have time just to chill out and hang out with their buddies. No different than this, man. I wish this thing would get 150 or 200 or 500 people on it one Sunday night, and the chat's just rolling, and I'm trying to keep up, and because that's just more people talking about the hobby. I said it last week, I think, or maybe the week before, I can't remember. If you are a racer, be proud to be a racer. Throw your stuff up there and show people what you do and how you are, how you run it, and show them videos. We have a small video on the Kempton Speedway YouTube channel that is just an overhead of a couple guys racing at our track and a pretty cool start to it. Showing the pictures off Facebook and the camaraderie and the fun. I haven't posted a lot of people on there yet, but it's all about that. Late September race scheduled to pay $2,500. Check it out, guys, down at Wally's race. $2,500 payout. What weekend is that? Matt says, get Ralph Ryan on if you really want to get, in my opinion, really going. Come on with it. Duca says, we have coyotes around High Road. Please keep your stray cats in Kempton. Duca, I'm going to bring them up there for food because I don't want them here either. Dave says, toy car racing. I did the real deal. SCCA and enjoy RC. Well, he said he's coming to Kempton and he's taking cats with him. So, what do you mean for real, Chuka? What are you talking about? September 27th, we're paying $1,000 for Slash here. Slash Street Stock will pay out $1,000 this year, guys. That money is brought to you by the Kempton Crew. The Kempton Crew donates $1,000 a year. I didn't hear. I didn't. I'm a hillbilly. Sorry. Yeah, no shit, Duca. I agree. $2,500. Go on High Side Hobbies and Raceways. Check that shit out. Figure out what's going on there. I want to know what that's about. I spent a weekend in Henderson, Kentucky area. But yeah, we pay fall brawl. The guys decided last year to do that and put up money for Slash because Slash never gets anything, any payouts. So we paid out 800 last year. I think it was 800 last year, and it's up to 1,000 this year. Slash, and then 13.5 Sprint. They did a pot and paid out the pot. So pretty cool. That's a good deal, man. I tell you what, it's I don't like racing for money normally, but the race that we ran last year, the fall brawl race, was huge. It had more people. Well, it had 60 cars, not more people than ever, but for that time it was most cars we ever had. But it was probably some of the cleanest racing we've had for money. Anytime, not money or money, but we paid it out as, obviously donations went there and they paid it up and it was good. I mean, we really enjoyed doing that. The guys have already helped throw up this year the money, and we got the track will put money on top of it. And if we get enough guys wanting to do something else, we'll do a pot in every class. I don't care. But that's the fall brawl, 27th of September. I just looked it up the other day. Another thing while we're on here, real quick, I want to mention we are talking. I've been working on a purpose-built class race, purpose-built cars. So that might happen too. So it will be only purpose-built cars. You will not run your slashes that day, your buggy street stocks that day. You'll run midgets, crate late, open late, 13.5 Sprint, open sprint, and Midwest mod. So throw in the comments if you think that's a good idea. If you think it's something that would work. We'll run for trophies. I don't know if we'll do it at the very end of this year, like first or second week in October, or if we will do it next year. But I think that would be a good idea to give the purpose-built cars something that is their own, just like we did the Big Tire Bonanza last week, which was a great race with all the big tire cars, cool trophies, and guys had a really good time, even though it was 110 degrees, like we were in a gunfight in Arizona with Billy the Kid. But just an idea, guys. So if anybody has anything, make sure you throw it in there and let me know what you think about that idea. I think it's a good idea. I think the purpose-built guys need something. Obviously, we get a hold of Custom Works, GFRP, those guys, just to let them know. And if they want to get involved, they can. Yes, and that is right. We could run SC Mod 2 also, TJ, if you can get a group to come. Matt says, always need a novice class. Guys, we always have a novice class. I have prizes for novice class every week. I don't put it on the flyer. I guess I probably will have to start. I should. But we always have a novice class, no matter what. If a kid wants to put a car on the track and he's the only one here and it holds a show up for 20 minutes, a kid is going to race that day with the big dogs, no matter what. If we do a purpose-built race and it's only purpose-built cars and a kid comes out and wants to run his slash, that kid's going to run his slash, guaranteed. Guys, for 2 years I built slashes with a grade school and we ran them. So that the school dropped that program, which is whatever. I can't control that, but that is the difference. Ours is 50%. It's a breakout. Interesting. Wally says he loves. I love the novice. Ours is 50%, and it's a breakout class. TJ's wanting to make SC Mod great again, and Wally's on board with that. I agree, guys. I think SC Mod, B Mod, well, we run B Mod also. I really like those classes. We just have to have a number, right? We just have to have a number. So, and it's tough. That SD mod racers, I don't know how to help them anymore. We have it. We try to have it every time. We are always open to race mod. Guys just have to come and race mod. I've not had mods except for last weekend. It was the first weekend we had mod cars run, and it was great. But that's how it is. You know what I mean? They uh, they had 4 or 5 out here, and they said, "Can we run mod?" Well, yes, 100% yes. Come run mod. I don't have a problem. If you have an RC car that fits the rules that are on the page or close to it, and we can work around it, especially the mod stuff, bring it when you come. If we have 10 classes and the 10 classes, like last week, 2 didn't have enough. So we end up running mod in place of one of those. We'll run mod, guys. Don't think mod isn't available here. It can be ran here, and let's get it done. Dave says definitely have kids involved. Video games have killed this hobby and the mechanically minded kids. You're right, but the video games, a lot of those kids are good because of video games, but you're right. We need kids on the track. We need kids building cars and using their hands. Dave, Juka says Dave's not allowed to run sprint or mod. JB's bringing mod cars on the 12th. Mod late model, mod sprint for sure. You mod late model guys that were here last month, make sure you get out here. Bring your mods with you. Kevin, Jason. I know Jason will be here again. Tommy. Was it Tom the other one? Bring them mods. Let's go. Let's get late models for sure. Sprints be cool. Juka said he has a $500 hack job sprint or hack fab sprint car that is faster than my mod sprint car. He's probably adding titanium screws to it right now. Juka's my mechanic. Ignore him. He sounds like he's your promoter. But yeah, bring them on, bring the mods, guys. And like I say, if you guys lock in with mod cars, I'll build trophies. If not, I won't. You can still run them. You just run them for pictures. Trophies this year on the 12th are going to be car stands and TQs are going to be solder mats. This is a race I always give a tool of some sort. Last year it was tool holders. This year, the year before it was car stands. I'm going to go back to car stands this year. So, yeah. Good comments tonight, guys. Keep that rolling. We'll keep this thing going. Guys, I'm reading the comments because if depends on how much Dave takes for RC Underground, then the guys can know what we're talking about because they can't see my comments. But it works out well for now. We're going to continue to get better at this. We're just figuring it out. The videos in the background are from the track. I had a guy last week or 2 weeks ago ask me about that. That is track pictures. So that's what we're running. Just an idea. And of course, our sponsors that help us out all the time. So, what else anybody got? Somebody want to hear more about this Triple Crown deal? We'll just have to work with it, guys. It will be set up, in my opinion, I think it should be set up like a lot like the Hell Tour. It'd be a 3-day deal, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But in my opinion, also, there's no drop. You don't get to drop a Friday. I think that Cedar gets to roll into that deal most years with people not showing up because they can't take off. But the reality of it is it hurts his track more than it hurts anybody. Cedar's a long way. You can tell Cedar can handle 200. They did for the elite. Um, I don't think the guys up there, I like them a lot. I don't think they're going to have a problem handling the people, but we just need to. I think that we wouldn't drop one in that deal. That's going to be my 2 cents when and if the three of us get together and talk about this deal. But if and that's going to be. I haven't been to High Road. We can definitely talk about that more once that happens. But man, it's going to be different. Limestone's track is like 3/4 of a mile long. So that thing's going to be a big track to run on this deal. But Dave says no reason why High Road and Kempton can't work together an hour and a half away from at most similar tracks, and let's be friends and race. 100%, man. That's what it's about, guys. I'm telling you, I'm pretty honest, straightforward cat. Limestone is badass. We're talking outdoors, Wally. Limestone indoors got it figured out. Their outdoor track they're still working with, and it's big. I'm a pretty straightforward dude. My thing about it is, guys get tired of racing at the same place. There's guys I guarantee you here that don't want to race here every weekend, and that's why we backed off and didn't do a bunch of Saturday races and we did Friday. And I said, I think if some tracks can get together and share racers, it's going to be better for everybody. Now, I know High Road's running every Saturday that we're not, and I appreciate and thankful for that. But the thing is they have got to the expectation to come every week, or every month, once a month maybe, is fine, but not every week, because I think guys want to race other places. Guys will find out that other tracks do things better than what you might do or your ideas. Therefore, you have to make some adjustments at times to help that. If a guy comes back to our track after racing somewhere and says, man, they do this and I like it, we look at it. I'm not saying I'm changing immediately, but we look at it and say, hey, is that something that we need to do? I have a whiteboard just full of ideas. Butch says, not sure what Limestone run line is now, but it was like 2:15. Dave's like, absolutely, nobody can commit every week. Neither here. We opened Friday night. We had 2 guys, and that's fine, guys. I'm not begging anybody. I'm asking, hey, on our Saturdays, and if you want to get away from the wife and kids, or bring the wife and kids with you, and enjoy the night of bullshit and racing, you come to Kempton on Friday night. We're about the only place except for Raw in Indiana that's doing it on Friday night, and my guys, my core group of guys enjoy Friday night. I'm okay with that. Even if I got to work on Saturday, I work one Saturday every 8 weeks or something like that. I just stay up till 2 in the morning and I still go because we're out here bullshitting. It's more about the people, man. I tell you, the people are where it's at so much. I didn't know one of these guys, not a one, before I opened the track, that are here every week. I didn't know any of them. There's a few guys that come here and there that I've known before, but 99% of these guys I didn't know. My wife didn't know any of them, and she's a part of this as much as anybody. Weasel said he was at Limestone yesterday, but there was just 3 of them. Yeah, I seen that when I was talking to Jeff. He said something about there's only 3 of you out there. How was the track, Weasel? How did it? I mean, it's obviously huge, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just a big track. But how did the track feel? So, guys, I mean, that's it. I think what's a limestone or what's a leisure high road? What's its run line, guys? Dave and Juka that are on here. What's your run line on it? Cool. Weasel says the track ended up fast, really fast and grippy. I like that. So, yeah, guys. I mean, there's so many. We're so lucky to have so many tracks. So lucky. And if you get tired of running them here in Illinois, you go to Indiana or Iowa or Wisconsin or Michigan. We're so close to so many tracks. The track locators are not. Remount range, Tommy ran a 7.3. 195 run line, around 195 up there at High Road. Dave says it's very simple. Similar to Kempton once the sun goes down. Yeah. Guys, I'm telling you, people don't understand that. Last big race, the Big Tire Bonanza, we started a little earlier. It worked out fine, but we did practice before that, and I told guys, if you want to know why we don't start now, here it is. We couldn't keep water in it. You guys will figure it out. You're all right. Just keep working at it. You'll figure out when it wants water, when it doesn't want water, what it takes to get it done. All that. It'll all come around. Don't worry about it. The sun is your worst enemy, but we got to have it to survive. I assume limestone's the same way. They don't have any trees out there, do they? Last time I was there wasn't many. Yeah, I agree. Dave, you're right. It sucks all the moisture out of the track. There's no traction. Sorry, guys. I had to take care of a cat. So, yeah, about knocked everything over, camera over, and everything else. Shop cat. You're all right. But yeah, that is a problem. I tell you what, Jacksonville, Dan is very the building shadows. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. So there's no trees, but the building shadows attract it. Add limestone pretty well. I didn't think about that. Dan did a really good job down in Jacksonville keeping water in the track, in my opinion. He does a good job. It takes a little extra time, but he runs 1 or 2 classes, and then he'll throw water on it. He did a really good job keeping water in it too. So they started 4:30. 4:30 is about average start time, guys. Yes, 100%, Dave. He says Kempton came alive after the sun behind the big tree. 100%, guys. And I'll call it during the day. Man, when that big orb gets behind there and that dark stuff starts coming across the track, we'll be okay, guys. Just give it a little bit more time. And the last race we started at 4:30. The French stretch was a little bit dry here and there. We had to keep the water on it, but after that it was fine. So it'll be good. We just have to. It's part of outdoor racing. Part of outdoor racing. But the thing is if you go indoor and the guys aren't aware of how the indoor works either, you still can't get enough water in it either because they don't get no natural water. So, that's a catch-22 also. I heard PTs is making some changes down there. I don't know what they are. I haven't heard. If anybody knows and wants to throw them in the comments, feel free. But I don't know what that is. But I heard PT's making some changes for the winter. I know there's a group of guys that want to go down there and race this year from Kempton, and that'd be a good time to go down there. Run some buggy street stock, some flash, some crate late models, that kind of stuff. The only difference they have in the crate late and us is they run 2-inch spoiler. We run a 2-inch, they run a 1, which whatever. Most of them have adjustable spoilers anyway. Yep, I did. I said, just hang on, it'll be good. And I'm no genius, but I put water on it a lot, and my guys have. I rely a lot on Scuba. He was on here earlier. I rely a lot on him to help work the track. So, but that's and I asked the question. Yeah, and they do limit the rear steer to 3 and 0. So. Yep, you're right, Matt. Matt says PT's limits the rear steer in the crate weight, and they do. It's 3 and 0, I believe. And the spoiler's different, but other than that, I don't know how much they check, but like a lot of us, they can see it. Okay. There it is. Okay, we'll talk about that. Jason said for the next big race, crate late model tech should be spoiler height. I saw some tall spoilers and forgot to mention it. Okay, yeah, we'll look at them. Or we'll talk about, see what we want to do there. Juka says, Dave says the same thing to his fellow racers after 6 White Claws. Nice. Meaning Tony. Tony did say, just hold on, it will be good. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he does. That's one of those, you gotta watch what you're saying, Kempton, Dave. It's really dark, and you're in the middle of nowhere. So, just FYI. But, yeah. We'll check in that. I didn't think about that. Yeah. We'll see what we want to do or how we want to handle it. Dave says high road's the same way. Once the sun goes down, traction's awesome. Guys, I really think that's 99% of the track. I noticed at high road, at a backyard last year when I was there watching that race, when the sun went past the garage, it really helped one end of the track. Tony barely had to wet one end and really gave it some on the back end just because it didn't have the shade yet. And as it came around, right? I mean, that moisture starts wicking up out of the ground and it gets so much better. So it's good. I'll tell you a little story. When we first started here, there's a group of guys came out, Butch, Scuba, and Munsterman and the boys. I don't know if the boys were with him or not. Anyway, they came out and it's noon. After the Ford County shootout at Brad's, they come up and I didn't know nothing. I mean, I think I had walls up, but I didn't know anything. And we were talking about it, and I'm like, man, this thing is loose as shit. I don't even want to drive it. I don't, And they're like, put water on it. So we put water on it, and it got better for like 10 minutes, and then it's dried out. So we just continue to water and water and water and water it, and it come around. I mean, but by the night, but then everybody left. We didn't have hardly any lights up, and as everybody's going to leave, the last few laps got really good because it got darker, and the sun went down. So then we understood, hey, this is how it works. As the sun goes down, this gets better. I didn't know. I've never done this before. So we went and got a little aerator. I just broke it the other day, but I used it for 4 years. and rebuilt it now to still use it, but and just poked holes in the tracks and watered it. And the next time everybody came out, the next weekend, I had put a few lights up to make it where we could kind of see. And it was true, you know. I mean, at night it works so much better. So Duke is going to be looking for a job, guys. Dave's firing him as head mechanic after that comment. But yeah, so it'll be good. It's just how it works, guys. I mean, you learn so much after you just do it. And no different than setting up a car, figuring out the car. You know, you learn so much. So, all right, guys, we've been on here 2 hours. I'm gonna get ready to get off here. We're gonna shoot for another week of hot weather and getting the track ready. We will be around on Friday night here. I don't know how many will be here, and it doesn't really matter as long as we have, you know, if we don't have anybody, that's fine too. I'm going to be here no matter all day on Friday. So hanging out. Sounds like we will be up at High Road on the 5th, coming up and seeing how that's working and running and getting guys together for that. So I just want to get enough guys. I want to support the tracks around us, and I want to support the people that help us and are willing to make the tracks, the group better. At some point this winter, we need a group to sit down and figure out what we're going to do for rules and make rules happen, and then we'll work the rest of it out in the end. So, Wally, good for you too. I'm glad you jumped on here, buddy. We'll check your stuff out, and if we get down that way, we'll holler at you. But I'm gonna get off here, guys. We'll see you guys on the next one. Next Sunday, we're running the same deal, 7 o'clock right here. Make sure you go on RC Underground when he posts on Friday. Start commenting on the second and third episode. Put, it's not about the money, it's about the people, and you'll get entered into that drawing for merch and MIP screwdriver set. So, all right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Thank you for listening to another great podcast on the RCU radio channel. Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends to join the channel for more RC content. RCU Radio. We cover it all.